Gangani, Springmore. I wanted to start off by giving you the Korean translation for play ball. If you're missing baseball as much as me, the only thing we have really to look forward to right now is the Korean Baseball League starting. So I was excited to say play ball today, and I looked that up on Wikipedia, and Gangani is how you say play ball. So if you're not watching right now on 1341 Springmore, you're probably watching the Dothan Bears versus the LG Twins. That's a rebroadcast from 5:30 this morning in case you missed that. I'm sure some of y'all were up watching that this morning, but if not, the replay is on right now on ESPN2. So once we're off the air here at 1341, be sure to join in and watch that. But if you missed that, or if you missed the one this morning, there'll be plenty more Korean Baseball League to come over the next few days. So did a little research on that, and it seems like the Korean Baseball League is a very popular thing, the only professional sport right now. They're known for big home runs and bat flipping. The Americans are always portrayed as being a little arrogant and cocky in a lot of sports, but I guess bat flipping is acceptable in Korea, so that ought to be fun to watch. A couple of other interesting facts I found out about that players right now in the Korean Baseball League cannot chew tobacco. They cannot chew tobacco because they don't want them spitting to spread germs. So it's hard to imagine baseball players not being able to chew tobacco while they play. First thing that came to mind is like going to a NASCAR race and not being able to bring beer inside. So I guess that the players will get by with that somehow. Probably would not go to a NASCAR race if I could not bring my own beer in. But that's neither here nor there. And lastly, doing a little bit more research, I think the team I'm going to pull for this year is the NC Dinos. They're out of Changwon, and they're owned by NC Soft, which is a software company. And that's probably getting way too deep, but obviously NC North Carolina Dinos is who I'm going to be pulling for this year. So check out the Korean Baseball League. I want to put in a little plug for that. That's probably the only sports we'll be seeing for a while. And I heard it's pretty good, actually. So we'll move on to better things. Again, this is Springmore 1341 for our weekly town hall meeting. So I want to go over a couple of updates and some announcements and some reminders, and then as always we'll take phone calls at 7054 after the broadcast, but I do ask you please just hold off on those until after the broadcast. Hopefully I'll answer some of your questions, and if not, we'll answer them here. Again, we're joined by Brad Dilday, who was not here Friday for our last broadcast, so glad to have him back. We did get through the broadcast somehow, but we did miss him. Daniel Sekeres, our engineer, and then Holly, who is always here taking notes. We'll be sending out a recap memo. So I did want to start off on some very positive news. In all seriousness, our employee that was tested positive that everybody found out about is doing very well and at home, doing, again, very good, family doing good. Only displayed symptoms for like 2 days. So, again, it was just very, very thankful and just pray every night that she was very upfront about letting us know that she was possibly exposed, never had symptoms. So that's just a real blessing. So I said this in all seriousness that I'm if we have one, and hopefully we'll only have one, but there's no way we can guarantee that with the amount of residents and employees we have. I'm glad it was a healthy younger employee who displayed hardly any symptoms and doing fine and more than excited to get back to work. So anyway, I want to give an update on that the employee is doing fine. All the residents that we have in quarantine right now, they are doing fine. Quarantine sounds like prison. It's just like a terrible term, but it's better than isolation, and I can't think of a better one than quarantine. I hear that on the news so much, but everybody is doing well that is on quarantine for safety precautions. Again, no active cases with any residents, but again, just safety precautions for the residents on quarantine. They're checked daily. Some are checked more frequently than others, depending on what the issue may be. Some are checked every day for temperature. Some are just checked on through a telephone call. So different methods of doing that to make sure everybody is okay. Another thing I wanted to mention, which I found very interesting and was very glad to do, I was going to write it in a memo, but thought I'd save it for our town hall. Late Friday, we had a phone call from from the Wake County Health Department and said they wanted to come out and talk to us about the case we reported. And we did have to report the case, obviously, and we did that. And when they first called, they were confused about Springmore. A lot of people are working within different divisions within the health department. We had one lady came out who doesn't specialize in any kind of healthcare facilities, but she said she had been here before, been at Springmore before to do an inspection on our pool, which we'll talk about here later. That's licensed by Wake County, but there was an RN, a registered nurse, that came and asked a lot of questions as well. So they're going and following up different facilities such as restaurants or healthcare facilities. I don't think they even would have came out here, but I think every time we call and somebody says we're a community, they automatically think it's a nursing home, because that's all you ever hear is nursing homes, nursing homes. So once they got here, they said, yeah, no, we didn't need to come out on that, but we were very positive and very excited to tell them everything we did and wanted their feedback. So Margot and I met with them at 4 o'clock on Friday, and we told them everything we had done with the employee and the residents and the staff members that the employee worked with, and all that was checked out perfect. That's exactly what, of course, obviously they recommended from when we did the phone call, but so that was followed great, and everything seems to be good. And they did not need any more information, but they were curious to see how Springmore is set up. North Village, South Village had no idea, so I took them over to South Village and showed them how it was split up with apartments on one side, apartments on the other, and some common areas. And they asked a few more questions and asked we just keep up with them every day until the residents are off quarantine. So Margot has been doing that, and they have been very supportive. So it was very comforting to see that the local health department did come out and check on us and help us even when it wasn't something that was needed. Again, it would have been, we have to report all these, and if we had more, or if we had a resident, they would get more involved. But just knowing that they're checking on people and other establishments, I thought was very good. So anyway, I thought I'd share that. I thought that was very positive, and I'm very glad they came out. So had that happen. In dining, I've been talking about making some changes or of things we're going to do, and Jennifer's been working very hard to try to continue to make sure y'all have everything that y'all need and as many things as y'all want. I know she did. She's got some stuff planned coming up and more stuff, but one thing we want to start is some breakfast options. I know there's a dedicated group of people that eat breakfast, and we want to give everybody the option to do that. So starting on May 18th, we're going to have 4 breakfast options. The menus for those will be out May 15th. So a few days before, but on May 18th, we're going to start 4 specials. They're quarantine special 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'll read you what they are. The first special is 2 eggs, 2 sausage links, 2 slices of toast, or an English muffin with your choice of juice. The other one is a cheese omelet, sausage patty, slice of toast or muffin. Special number 3, 2 pancakes and 2 sausage links. And number 4 is a breakfast sandwich with sausage patty, country ham, and you can have egg and cheese with that. And that can be on white, rye, wheat, or English muffin. So those will be the 4. We cannot do bacon, unfortunately, due to the way it has to be cooked. So that has to be done out in the mobile kitchen. So we're going to be preparing these from both the Garden Cafe and the bistro. But be mindful, these are only for delivery only. So the Garden Bistro and the cafe will not be open. But there's going to be preparing the food there. The hours that they're going to have that available is 7:45 to 10:15, and the last delivery will be at 10:30. And that's going to be Monday through Friday. We're not going to do it on the weekend just due to staff and just due to some restrictions with the kitchen and having to deliver the amount of meals. We're having to deliver still about 800 meals still every day. So we're going to work this in, but only going to be Monday through Friday. I feel confident that y'all feel that's better than nothing and a great option, and hopefully we'll see the value in that. So 2 options. If you live in North Village, call the grill at 3000. Again, that's just 3000. And if you live in South Village, the bistro is 7541. So just call those directly. Right now, we're not doing anything through the portal. We're all going to be call-ins, and we'll see how that goes. And if it gets overwhelming, or we want to add an email address, we'll add it to where we can do email orders. Again, we don't have hundreds of people eating breakfast every day. We have a dedicated group, and hopefully more will eat that. Now we have the option, so we're going to try to do the call-ins first. Allow 45 minutes for delivery. It's all going to be a la carte. We'll have to cook it made to order. It won't be like at supper where we batch cook and have 20 chicken and 20 roast beef and 20 of something all ready to go. Once that runs out, we cook more. It'll all be be cooked to order, and it'll all be a la carte charged to your account. So it won't be a full meal charge, just like it is in the bistro or South Village. So we're just be reminded that there's no pickups, and the Garden Cafe and the bistro is not open. It's just going to be delivery from there, and they're going to be preparing it from there. So there'll be more information about that, but I did want everybody to know that we do have some breakfast options coming on the 18th. So looking forward to that. Next, I want to talk about Pathways. We got a lot going on with Pathways. I want to start with Resident Life. Some really great things that Leah has going on. We are starting we have a poetry contest going on. So I'm going to read this flyer and a few more I want to talk about. So the poetry contest, there are so many different kinds of poetry. This contest is to write an original poem. It could be about what's happening now with COVID-19, about Springmore, family, or any other topic of your choosing. So if you submit one poem via email to Leah or Brenda, and if you know, those email addresses are pretty easy. It's just leah.willis or brenda.baker, first and last name with a dot in the middle, at springmore.org. By the end of the month, May 20, we're in May, right? Yes, okay. It's not June yet. I'm wishful thinking for perhaps a vacation one day. May 29th, yes, by Friday, May 29th. If you can submit those, and the winner will be announced June 1st. I knew June was in here somewhere. June 1st, 2020. And the winner will receive a nice prize package from Harry and David. Harry and David. I am not sure what Harry and David is. It's got a tree on it. Really great fruit from some of our audience in here. So very, very nice fresh fruit from Harry and David. So that ought to be nice. This is very similar to the photo contest we did. So submit one poem, just one only. And I've got some creative writers here, so put your best work forward and submit one poem to Leah or Brenda by Friday, May 29th for the winner on June 1st. Okay, we got some food and mood, how certain foods can improve your mood. I need to read this. All I do is eat, and my mood's just, I don't know. It's up and down, so there's probably got to be some correlation to it. So let's see what this is. For the next couple of weeks, Dining Services will sponsor some nutritional programming. Tune in to channel 1341 to see these very important videos. Dining Services and our dietitians always do a great job with presentations. I know those are very well attended. We get a lot of positive information from those, and a lot of good feedback from residents. So this is a chance to 4 times this month to tune in and see, get some nutritional information on how certain foods affect your mood. So Monday, May 11th at 3:30. Friday, May 15th at 8:30. Monday, May 18th at 3:30, and Friday, May 22nd at 8:30. So obviously 3:30 p.m. and 8:30 a.m. for those on May 11th, 15th, 18th, and 22nd. You'll be getting a flyer for this if you hadn't already, with the poetry stuff and the food and mood. Lastly, we have got a wonderful thing that we're doing with Mother's Day coming on and not being able to have visitors. That's been really tough, and talked to a lot of communities and things that they're doing, and we're all getting creative with what we can do with the size of our facility and just different dynamics and the way they're set up. So Leah had this great idea to do a Mother's Day card tree. So we're asking family members. So family members have been sent an email asking them to send Mother's Day cards for you. The card should be sent to Leah Willis, with the resident's first and last name at our main address, 1500 Sawmill Road, and ask your family if they've received our email. If not, tell them about this. So if you're watching, please, I'm sure y'all talk to your family on a regular basis. Ask them if they've received the email regarding the Mother's Day Christmas card, Mother's Day Christmas, not Christmas, they're Christmas trees, but a Mother's Day card tree. We want to put those up so all of y'all can go and see what your family wrote. That'll be very neat to do on Mother's Day. And when you find yours, you take it home. And there are two places where the trees are located. In North Village will be the Ammons Room, and South Village in the Portico. So very similar where we put the poinsettia trees in Christmas. We alternate those every year from either the Ammons Room or the Portico. So make sure that you find those. Make sure your family knows about that. It's a good way for them to honor you and to say hello on Mother's Day. So that will be happening. And you can see the trees are already up, and we already have some. Next, I want to talk a little bit about spiritual wellness. Again, a lot going on with spiritual wellness as well. Pathways has just done a fantastic job during this time to keep everybody busy. Mentally, physically, spiritually, nutritionally. So starting tomorrow on 5/6 at 10:30 a.m., there'll be a Zoom discussion group. This will be coordinated by the chaplains. Contact chaplains if you'd like to join us or if you need help setting it up. We talked about Zoom a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of it's an interactive format on a computer where you can see and talk to each other and have like a live meeting. So some residents are really attuned to that. We do have some information up on the resident portal under important links. And Daniel's put some very useful information on there of how to set up a Zoom account. But if not, call Lori or Juliana, and they will help you get that all set up. Each Sunday, we continue to have Sunday school at 10 a.m. with Tom Jackson. That's always on Springmore 1341. And then always following that, later in the evening, is Vespers at 7 p.m. on 1341. So 2 opportunities on Sundays for worship, Sunday school, and Vespers. We'll continue our weekly devotion and thoughts. They will go out in the camp. Will go out tonight in the in-campus mailbox. So check out the daily devotions. Those have been really good. I don't know if I shared with y'all, but a lot of other communities that RLA helps manage or oversee, we're the only one with a chaplain, and we're very blessed to have 2. They do have a spiritual presence in them, but not a devoted staff person. So I've been able to share some of the stuff that Juliana and Lori have sent to me, especially during Holy Week. So some of the staff members within their life enrichment department could actually share with residents. They've been very thankful for that. So we're very blessed to have such a good spiritual wellness presence here at Springmore and dedicated staff to do that for the ones that are into that. But so we'll just be looking for your weekly devotions tomorrow when you check your mail. Bible study next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Again, that's always going to be televised on 1341. And handwritten notes and cards from local schools and churches are continuing to come in. We're delivering them to the residents. And lots of folks around the metro area want to express their love and support for you, our residents. So please check those out. Residents, you can send thanks and notes to the Springmore staff in all departments, and we continue to gather those and post those where employees can see them. So hopefully you've seen those around campus of the nice notes that residents have wrote about employees, and I can personally say as an employee it's very nice to see that. I see the one at the health center every night before I leave, and that's just always a nice way to end the day and to start the day. So thank y'all for doing that. Continue to write that. That means more than y'all know to us. So that's what we have going on with spiritual life. Wellness with Carrie Ritchie's department. We are hoping on Friday when the governor makes his announcement to, reopen the state. We know it's going to be very minimal and not much is going to change other than I think probably some retail establishments being open with limited people. But I think one of the things that we'll be able to do is be able to start small groups of 10 or less. So we've already been planning for that. We won't, one of the last things we had to stop was exercise classes of 10 or less. So once that has been lifted, we're going to start that back. And Carrie is working on a schedule. and a flyer, and we're going to have residents sign up for those to make sure that we have enough people in each class and not extra people are coming and having to be turned away. Or so she's got a format for that, and she'll be going over that in more detail. And we hope that those will start May 18th as well. That'll be the same day that we start breakfast. Again, it's got to be after. We want to get a lot of this done after Mother's Day, after the new order comes out, and after we've had time to plan for it. So look for that from Carrie to start doing some exercise classes again. There'll be a flyer to go along with that. I also want to talk about the pool and the gym. I want to explain that a little more in detail. A couple of residents have asked, well, why can't we open our pool? It's a private pool. Yes, it is, and no, it's not. It is a private pool to Springmore. Nobody outside of Springmore can use it, but it's still licensed by Wake County. So we have pool inspections every so often. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, one of the ladies that came out from the health department to check on the case we had said she did a pool inspection here before. So Tom Morgan and our grounds department and Carrie Ritchie keep up with that on a regular basis. So we fall under the category of every other pool that's licensed by Wake County. So we cannot open the pool until we've given permission. So now if you have a pool in your backyard, obviously that's not licensed. You can get in and out anytime, but we still fall under the Wake County guidelines for that, since we do have a permit and a license for that pool. Gyms, we do have a private gym. We don't have a license for that, but we have been instructed, being a long-term care facility, to follow the same regulations as gyms being closed. I believe that gyms and salons are still closed down during phase one. Matter of fact, I'm certain they are, unless that changes between now and Friday. So we will not be reopening our gym right yet. We hope to open it up slowly, maybe in phase two, and 10 or less people. So just be mindful of that. We still have the exercise equipment, 2 pieces in the great room in North Village and 1 over in South Village in the terrace room. I know people are ready to get out in the gym and kind of get going again, but that's just be mindful that we're under those restrictions, and that's kind of, our hands are tied at that point. So speaking of that, I think it's a good reminder to remind everybody to really get outside and do some walking to stay active. I say it every week. I've never seen so many people walking, and I've actually started doing a little bit myself. We went on a family bike ride, first time in ever that we've all 4 went on a bike ride. The first time I rode my bike, maybe since I moved to Raleigh, maybe one time. I know my wife for sure, so it's nice to get out and walk around. Just make sure if you're with someone that you're 6 feet apart. Wearing a mask outside, I do not. I don't think that's required or mandatory. You see some people wear them. I think when you're outside, you need to get some fresh air. But again, I'm not a doctor, so I can't say for sure, but I think just getting out and soaking up some fresh air in the sun is great, especially when we have to be in so much. So I think that's just a great reminder to get out and have a beautiful campus. So stay active, and it helps you stay social. If you see people walking around, stop and say hey to them. There's a lot of socialization that benefits us in a community like this, and that's a big selling point of a community like this, is you're not alone, or you're not around the same person every day. You're around a group of people, and socialization helps for a more healthy lifestyle and a longer period of life. So that's very important. A couple of other reminders. We're asking for all residents and staff to wear masks when you're in any common areas. So that goes for residents and staff. Anytime you're in a hallway, a common area, laundry room, trash room, anytime you're outside your apartment, house, or villa, mine is being outside, or anytime an employee's outside their office, we ask that they wear a mask. And that's for best practice, and we've been reminding staff to do that, so I'm going to remind each of y'all to do that as well. So it's a good just best practice for that. And I think, again, another resident reminded me about social and staying active, and then also having a good sense of humor about this. Obviously, I have to have a little humor, and I do a little bit each time. I don't know how well it's received, or if it's even understood, or if I just make myself laugh. But it is needed for me from time to time. I do like humor, and I do like things that are amusing. So I think that's very important, to find some humor in something. It's just I think it's just important. It helps me get through the day, and hopefully y'all as well. So always remember a good sense of humor and just try to take it the best you can, and we'll all get through this together. So before we take any questions, again, just talking about next steps. Everything's kind of on hold right now until we hear what the governor says on Friday. And again, we think some retail establishments will be opened up a little bit with some restrictions. But as far as, exercise classes and dining and our quarantine precautions and visitation, all those will be in place still. Again, we're hoping to hold small classes eventually. We hope to open the dining room when we can do 50 or less people, and probably do 2 seatings in each dining room, but give you the option of still going through the line to pick up food or having it delivered. But that's going to be at least phase 2 or 3. And then quarantining, the quarantine procedures of what we're doing with people in the hospital and ER, we're still going to keep that up for best practices. And then visitation for everyone right now. It's very important to not get complacent and feel like when things are loosened up, per se, from the governor, that we can let our guard down. So I think we've got to find a happy medium of kind of just backtracking where we got from where we are now to going back to where we were before all this started. And it's going to be slow. And just please be mindful that our community is more unique than other people in other places. So apartment complex that are not a part of a continuing care retirement community, or a neighborhood, or your own personal house, again, it is a little different. We have the obligation to keep y'all safe and healthy, and a lot of times the rules are a little more strict and stringent here. So just be mindful of that for everybody's safety. But we hope that we can differentiate the independent living and the health center when that time comes. I feel confident the health center is going to be on, I say lockdown, but very closely monitored and locked down for a few more months, to where hopefully the independent will be loosened. So we want to differentiate, obviously, the IL from the skilled. You have a different lifestyle, you have different abilities. That's why you live in independent versus skilled. But we're all here together, and we all unfortunately fall under the same rules on certain things, but not all things. So just be mindful of that whenever we do loosen things that may not be exactly what y'all were hoping, but we still have a obligation for the community as a whole, and eventually we'll get through this, and God forbid we have to go through this ever again. So with that said, if anybody wants to call in, we'll be happy to take some questions. While we wait on some phone calls, I thought I'd do a quick little plug here. This looks like a moonshine bottle, but it's not. If you can see close enough, it is red, and this is homemade barbecue sauce by Randy Horton. So Randy was nice enough to give me some of this, made right in Clayton, North Carolina. So I'm sure it's good. It seems to be the consistency of maybe a Lexington blend. It doesn't look too vinegary like a Eastern, and not as thick as a Western. But it looks to be very good. So Randy did give this to me. I have no idea his aspirations of perhaps opening up a barbecue sauce company. He'd probably be successful, but I did want to give a quick plug in case he does open it. You saw it here first, a little homemade bootleg version of Randy Horton's hot sauce. So quick plug for that. Do we have a question, Daniel?
When they start breakfast, will they include coffee, and how much will it cost?
Okay, so breakfast will include coffee and how much it will cost. So each down here, it says choice of juice, apple, orange, and cranberry. I assume coffee will be included, but I will double check that. Holly will make note of that about coffee. And the cost will be a la carte. So whatever a cheese omelet costs, or 2 slices of toast, or 2 slices of sausage, it'll be a la carte, just like you're getting it from the grill. So if you need prices on that, I'm sure we can get that for you, or post that somewhere, the prices of each one. But again, it's going to be 1 through 4 specials. We're not going to do any substitutions for anything. If you want special number 1, but you don't want sausage and you want something else, it's just going to be, with the restrictions we're under, we're not going to do any substitutions right now. But if there's something you don't want, you can leave it off. So that's one option. So we'll verify the coffee, and the prices will be a la carte. If that's something that y'all would like posted, we can get that. All right. Nothing else. So looks like hopefully people are hopefully feeling good about what we're doing. Hopefully the residents, hopefully y'all feel confident. Hopefully family members are feeling confident. We're trying to keep them updated on stuff. It's continuously just kind of every day keeping our guard up. So let's see what we got here in just a second. If you want your family member added to our email distribution list, if you can send that to Daniel, is that right? Daniel's created a long listserv that we send out over 470 email addresses from families, and we're looking to get more from families. We're touching most families via email, but not all of them. So we're working on making that happen. To keep them updated on everything. And then for future stuff, we realize that we have an email distribution list for the Stewart Health Center families, because most families have to do all the affairs for the residents in the health center or their spouse that lives here. But as being independent, we're very transparent about everything we do with y'all, and most of y'all do y'all's own affairs and handle your own stuff. And if there's family members involved, we kind of already know that, so we don't communicate with them. We communicate directly with you. I prefer that if possible, but of course we want family members to know what we're doing for this, and then also things we have coming up in the future about health center renovations and then other things. So we're in the process of creating a large database with at least one family member's email address on there. Any idea when you can get a haircut? That is going to be when the state allows salons to reopen. Again, that is another thing like the pool. We have so we rent the salon to the licensed beauticians. So the beauticians cannot practice. They are licensed under North Carolina, and if they practice, they could be fined. So they are not risking that. My wife is dying to get a haircut. I had a next door neighbor who's one of the most honest people I know, said he begged and begged his barber just to cut his hair in his garage. And he said he'd pay him whatever he wanted. Anything you want, I should cut my hair. And the guy said, no, I'm not going to do it. I could lose my license. So, again, that kind of falls under the pool. Our hands are tied with that. So you can't get a haircut at Springmore just like you can at the guy's place in Stonehenge Village where I go. There's nobody's doing it unless they're doing it illegally. So, yeah. So Kyle Dilday, he did offer to cut my hair. I did pass on that. My wife has offered. I've passed on that. I think I'm just going to continue to let it grow. I had really shaggy hair in college, so I'm thinking that may make me look younger. So I'm probably going to go with a shaggy look for a while. I don't trust Kyle or my wife to cut my hair, so it is just going to be it is what it is. What else we got? If you take a vacation to the beach or anywhere else right now, yes, you have to quarantine. Will that be in effect after Friday or 2-3 weeks or a month? I don't know. It very well may be. But for right now, if you go to the ER, if you stay at the hospital, or if you are out of Springmore overnight for a vacation, yes, you'll have to be quarantined. So that is, I know that is just tough, but that is just what we really have to do to make sure everybody's safe. Every community's doing that. I can tell you some other stories, but I won't bore you with them, of things they make their residents quarantine for, which is almost just seems just suppressive in my opinion. But yes, if you do right now go on vacation, you would need to quarantine yourself. If that changes, we'll let you know. Anything else? All right. Well, thank y'all again for joining us. I do enjoy speaking to y'all. I wish I could see y'all. Unfortunately, y'all can only see me, but I wish I could see each of y'all. And when I do see you in the hallway, it's nice to say hello. So look forward to seeing everybody again soon, and we'll send out an update with all this information to you and your family members if it's listed. And we'll see you next week. Thank you, and have a great rest of your week. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Thank you.